Hello, hello, hello. Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us, please. Let us know we are actually talking to someone, not just us. I think so anyway, so. We're waiting. Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
So this is our first live. We have never done anything like this before. It's the first time with all of this software, and yeah. So if you can hear us, just give us a quick just give us a quick thumbs up in the comments. And we're waiting. We're waiting.
Who knows? So yeah, I think so. So we'll just go for it, shall we?
Hey.
Okay, so.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining us.
Right. On our first ever live. We're a little bit nervous. So like I said, if you didn't hear me before, just bear with us because it's all really, really new to us. We decided to do this live just after our Iceland and Greenland cruise, just because it'll take us a little while just to get all the videos and the vlogs together. And we know some of you have got some real pressing questions.
Yeah, so please ask away for any of our cruises or just general cruise questions. We're happy to help.
Okay, so we're getting some questions in already. So we've got one asking about Ambassador. So Tom.
So yeah, first question.
How do Ambassador compare to other cruise lines?
Okay, we really liked Ambassador first of all. We found it. We really liked Ambassador first of all. We found it. I can hear myself.
Bear with, see.
No, we found it Ambassador really, really good. Actually, much better than we were expecting. In all honesty, we weren't sure because there had been some mixed reviews about Ambassador, and yeah, we'd seen some obviously other vloggers who'd been on, and it wasn't a great experience. But for us, it turned out really well. We really enjoyed it. The ship itself is a nice size ship. It's probably the smallest ship we've been on. The public areas of the ship are done to a really high standard, and we found them great. The cabins themselves probably did show the ship's age, and there were some things in the cabins that weren't great for us, but overall it was pretty good.
Yeah, the only thing we found a little bit difficult was the set dining times, because we've never experienced that before. On Ambassador, you have an early and a late sit-in, so we were put on the late sit-in, and we just felt that by the time we got out of dinner, we were missing a few of the events and entertainment. But overall, would it stop us from cruising with Ambassador again? Absolutely not. We had an incredible time, and we thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely. And the itinerary was interesting for us with Ambassador. It was around the UK, so we had UK style weather really, but we had it in the reverse than what was expecting. So we thought when we're up in Scotland and the Orkneys, we'd have not so great weather, and then when we're down south, Isle of Scilly, Guernsey, that the weather would be better. And actually it turned out the complete opposite, where we had a lovely weather up in Scotland and awful weather where we missed a few ports down south. So it was a bit of a disaster. And one of the weird things was that obviously what's happened today with Britannia happened to us on Ambassador, where we were docked in Cherbourg though, and the weather was that bad the ship came away from the port. So we definitely can understand what's been happening today on Britannia. It was definitely an interesting experience.
Another question then from Scotters: did you miss the midnight buffet snacks on Island Princess, or did room service suffice? So yeah, unfortunately on Island Princess, there's no international cafe like on Royal class ships. Now myself and Tom, we've been on Enchanted Princess and Sky Princess, and we've always sort of used the international cafe every time we wanted sort of a little light snack or a coffee. So on Island Princess, you can either go to the Horizon Buffet when it's open, or you can order via the Medallion app. And pretty much that's what we did all the time, especially after coming in late at night because it's just so convenient. And we do love a bit of Princess room service.
No, I think you love it more than me.
I do love it. I do love it. And I think the menu's quite good as well because, yeah, fair enough, it's not huge or extensive, but it's, you know, it's comparable to sort of P&O's room service, Ambassador's room service as well. And yeah, no, we did make full use of that. Fortunately, you know, obviously Princess have implemented a couple of changes with their package now. So if you don't have a package, you've actually got to pay a $15 activation fee to use the Ocean Now Medallion app for room service and ordering, and then a $5 delivery fee every time you use it. Obviously, if you've got a package with Princess, Princess Plus, Princess Premier, it's included in that. So fortunately, we were pretty okay.
Yeah, room service is very popular with us. We had
Would have cost us a fortune.
It would have cost us a lot of money.
Coffee's first thing in the morning.
Yeah,
coffee's at night, drinks during the day if we were doing a bit of scenic cruising.
Yeah.
So we did make full use of it.
And on Island Princess, we found that the app worked way better than it did for us on our previous ships with Princess. So on Sky and on Enchanted, it was much better. It was pretty much instant, wasn't it? It was working perfectly fine, the app was. And then we're doing the orders to the cabin mostly, and it was fine. We did not really need to use the app when we're in the bars and restaurants because the service was just so good. So before we could sit down and even look at the app, there was a waiter there asking us what we wanted to drink. So there was just no need to use it then. But the app was pretty good.
One interesting thing as well, and I would most probably get onto it, or somebody might ask us a question about the Wi-Fi on board. Now, last year when we did Enchanted in Sky, the Wi-Fi was absolutely horrendous. So slow, didn't work very well at all. Island Princess fortunately has had Elon Musk's, what's it called? Starlink.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, it was absolutely superb. All the way across to Iceland, no problems. All the way across to Greenland, again, no problems at all. Really good. Such an improvement over last year.
Yeah, definitely.
So we've still got a few questions coming in. Apologies if I've done that one. Question, we're thinking of doing a river cruise. Have you done one? And if so, what did you think?
No, we haven't done a river cruise, but it's something we'd like to try, definitely, isn't it? So we've heard that river cruising is a lot like perhaps a coach holiday more than ocean cruising.
Yeah.
With a lot of things going on in port and off land and things like that. So we'd really like to try one, but no, we haven't done one yet.
The one thing with river cruising is that every time we want to do one, the dates, because they sort of focus, they've got a funny season with the river cruising, especially through sort of Rhine and Germany and Central Europe. So in terms of dates, because I'm a teacher, it's really hard to sort of find one that fits exactly with sort of half terms and holidays. We have to it'll either be a day or two before my holidays start or a day or two after it starts, and it just doesn't give us enough time to sort of get on there and do it.
No.
Cruise boys are in the house from Celebrity Silhouette. Hope you're having
guys,
absolutely fabulous time.
Yeah.
Paul and Carol, hello.
Hello, Paul and Carol.
Yeah, no pressure then, no pressure.
You make me more nervous now. There's experts in the house.
What we've got everything martini bar. How did you find being on Island Princess compared to Enchanted? That's a good question, Joe.
They are very different ships, aren't they? Very different ships. Enchanted is much bigger than Island Princess and much more glitzy and glamorous. Although the plaza on Island Princess does have some elements that are comparable to the piazza.
Yeah, it's very
on
princess,
Enchanted
isn't it?
You do go on the ship and you feel I'm on a princess ship. But everything you can think of on Island Princess is bigger, and everything on Enchanted Princess is much bigger than it is on Island Princess.
In terms of Island Princess, on Enchanted, you know, you could go to certain venues, you could go to the main plaza or piazza, you could sit down and it felt busy. You know, there were lots of people there. And on Island Princess, even though we were sailing at full capacity, well, roughly full capacity, there was about 2004 passengers on board. It never felt busy. It was so spacious. We always found a seat. The only times we sort of struggled to sort of find anywhere to sit is when particular events were taking place that were really popular. And then we'd go to, say, the Wheelhouse bar, you couldn't get a seat. We'd go to Explorers, we couldn't get a seat. But overall, in sort of all of the public and communal areas of the ship, it was absolutely fantastic in terms of, you know, we were on there for 16 days and there were people we wanted to talk to and who wanted to talk to us. And we didn't even get a chance to sort of cross paths.
Yeah.
It was very, very sort of surreal experience.
Island Princess as well also had a refurb a few years ago and took away one of the main venues on board and replaced it with cabins. So I think that Princess made a mistake doing that, and I think you can really some of the venues are located on the ship now are not great compared to how they would have been, and the venues that they took away are a big loss, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like some of the venues are sort of just squeezed into sort of random spaces on random decks.
Yeah.
It's very, very strange. And the aft of the ship, if you have a look at a pre-refit photo, the aft of the ship was beautiful. Now it's just blocked off.
Yeah, no, we know there are some aft view fans watching, and there is no aft view on Island Princess. You cannot get to it anywhere apart from the sanctuary, so you have to pay for that aft view extra. There is not one public space where you can sit and have a drink or even just sit and see the aft view.
No, there are a number of sort of aft balcony cabins, but obviously you have to pay for them. Whereas on most ships, there's a lovely little bar at the aft of the ship. You could sit there and sip a few cocktails as you're sailing away. Yeah, that's the only thing we really did miss on Island Princess.
Yeah. There's also not one at the front of the ship either. There's no bar. The only thing located at the front of the ship is the buffet. So it's not really a relaxing place to sit and watch the ocean. So that's the only thing we did miss, was a great view of either across the sea at the front of the aft, or at the front or at the aft.
Okay, I'm just going through trying to find some more questions. I feel your pain for school holidays. Yeah. Who do you think you would win in a
drinking contest between Tom and Dom or the cruise monkeys? And we know the answer to this.
However, Gavin has
it's definitely the cruise monkeys, because we have tried. I have significantly failed.
Yeah, Tom, after a first outing with the cruise monkeys, Tom was in bed for 2 days afterwards.
Yeah, so I did not see the light of day. So yeah, hi cruise monkeys and hi honey.
Yeah.
Are you in your hot tub? Oh no, Emma Cruises is in. Hello, Emma.
All right.
Okay.
No pressure then.
Yeah. Now we're feeling the pressure. 16 days. Yeah, that was a really long cruise. But in that cruise, we had a lot of sea days, and we had 4 sea days home from Greenland to Southampton. And we thought that was going to be a slog. And in all honesty, it went by like that. It was so quick. It was unbelievably quick. On the ship itself, there was actually too much to do. We could not fit everything we wanted to do in it. It was fascinating. There was talks from ice pilots, destination experts and things that were talking us through what we'd already seen in Greenland and how they did it. There was game shows, The Voice of the Ocean, Deal or No Deal. There was
lots of little pieces of entertainment all over the ship. Andy, cruise director Andy, who we were on Sky with.
Yeah.
He was the cruise director on Sky, and the entertainment team on board were absolutely spot on. We thoroughly enjoyed everything that they did, and some of their evening entertainment quizzes in the Explorers Lounge was absolutely hilarious.
fantastic.
Hi, given the extent of your culinary determination when cruising, one of you, so we do get a lot of comments asking us about how much, basically telling us that they can't believe how much we eat while we're on board. And we do tend to go for it when we're on a cruise.
It's because we feel we need to just try everything.
For you.
No, not at all. But we do enjoy our food on board, and we do make the most of the meals, don't we?
Yeah, we wouldn't want to sort of, I suppose, because these are our holidays.
They're our holidays, yeah.
So when we're on holiday, we do like to go and enjoy ourselves. We don't want to sort of stop ourselves from trying any bits of, anything that we might like. When we come home, though, it's a completely different story. We are very sort of particular about what we eat, and we just eat in moderation and drink in moderation as well. Some more questions. Given the speciality, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're going up and down to try and find the question. Everything is moving quite quickly, which we're surprised by. We thought nobody would turn up.
we come up with a list of about 10 questions just to sit here and thank you all for spending your Sunday with us. We really appreciate it. Question: you suddenly become CEO of Princess. What one thing would you lose from ships, and what one thing would you add?
Wow, really good question.
That's a good question.
That's from Scotters. Scotters, go on, you say what you think.
The one thing I would change or add would be the specialty menus in specialty restaurants. On board Island Princess, we did
2 specialty restaurants.
Well, they've only got so we did Sabatini's again, and we did the Bayou Cafe and Steakhouse, and we just found that it was like, we don't eat fish. So on both of the menus, it was just quite extensively fish orientated.
Very specific.
Well,
but a lot of people do like fish.
No, that's true.
That's very specific.
But I wouldn't. I'm not saying take it away. I'm just saying you're paying more for the experience, aren't you? It'd be, we found the menus. Yeah, and I know they're Princess, but we found them. They have changed them from Enchanted and Sky, but we just found them a little bit limiting. So that's one thing I would change. I'd perhaps mix up the specialities a bit more.
And what would you take away?
That would be my what would I take away from Princess?
Yeah. Would you lose?
I don't know, because I think Princess for me is one of my. I really enjoy Princess. I just find the whole ease of everything. I love the medallion. I love the app because it's compared to last year. Wow, what an improvement!
I know what I would lose.
Go on then.
And it's really harsh to that person because I know that's somebody's job, but I would lose Fortuna luck.
Oh yeah,
she just winds me up. So it's just so over the top and so in your face everywhere that it's not a very British thing to have that. It's too over the top for us. But then she wants us to get involved, and we went and watched a bingo session because we didn't want to play bingo because it's American style bingo, which first of all confuses us. But you just say, please call the numbers because they do a dance and a song and all sorts. We had Baby Shark playing between numbers. It was just too much. So yeah, Fortuna luck would be something I would been off.
So question from Brits on a Ship. Hi, thanks for joining us.
Guys.
Did you go to the pop-up Alfredos in Sabatini's on sea days that they usually have? Now this
very good question, because unfortunately we did, and pop-up Alfredos is no more.
Gone.
So instead, because of the introduction of the new paid for
they don't call them speciality lunches, do they?
Premium lunches, which is going to be what you pay for if you don't have a package, or if you do have a package, you get 2, or if you're on Plus, you get 2, and if you're on Premium, you get unlimited. So they feel that they need to make more space for them. So gone is the free Alfredos, and instead is the paid for lunch in Sabatini's instead. So we turned up on Sabatini's on sea day saying, "Oh, is it Alfredo?" He said, "Unfortunately, from this cruise, it is now a paid for lunch and it's part of your package or not." So that is the end of that. So that is something they have lost. So 3 Alfredos on Island Princess is no more.
No more.
Even though you can still see behind the kitchen all the pizza ovens, but pizza's not on the menu there at all.
So yeah, that was a little bit disappointing because we're quite looking forward to it. However, the pizza up on the pool deck was spectacular.
You really enjoyed the pizza.
It was really, really good. I do like Princess Pizza. I don't think they're as good as MSC, but I do like Princess Pizza. But then I like any food. I'm on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
Question: did you enjoy the little ride thing in the Titanic Museum? One is random.
Right, Emma, this is a good question because yes, we did enjoy the ride, but unfortunately we had an annoying tourist in front of us who decided to film the whole ride, and that wasn't us. They just had to put their flash on. And obviously, if you haven't been to the Titanic experience in Belfast, it's a dark ride that kind of is like a cable car type thing that takes you round the building of the story of the Titanic. But there's 4 seats, 2 in front and 2 behind. We were in the 2 behind, and the people in front got their camera out, turned on their flash, and filmed the whole thing
all the way
so
around.
we were slightly distracted by that. But yes, it is that. But the Titanic experience itself, I would tell anybody to go because I think it's absolutely fantastic. And I know they've refreshed it recently, and some of the artifacts that they recovered from the bottom of the ocean are on display there. And it is really, really poignant, especially the last room with the names and the music and seeing the ship. I won't tell you everything about it because it's an amazing experience, but absolutely go. But yeah, the ride was good, but we ended up there on a bank holiday as well, so we queued about 40 minutes to get on that ride. So avoid bank holidays if you can.
Yeah, but it was amazing.
It was.
It wouldn't stop us going again.
Oh, absolutely not. We'd definitely go again.
It was just so fascinating.
Yeah. If we had more time, we probably could have spent the whole day there.
Question from Anton Glenn: did you manage to see the Northern Lights on this cruise?
No, yes, surprisingly, yes. So even though we were there in August in Greenland, which we had no hopes of seeing it, and it was by chance that we went up. We went up on top deck a few nights actually after we'd had a few drinks in the bar, just in hope because it is now getting dark at night in Greenland, just about. So we went up on deck in Nanortalik in Greenland, a small town in Greenland, and it was about 1 a.m, wasn't it? So just before we went to bed, and sure enough, there they were. It was amazing. It was an amazing experience to see. They weren't as bright as we thought they were going to be. It's one of those things where when you look at it through your phone or through a camera, they look way better than they do in real life. So I think you were you were like, oh, it looks better on the camera than.
I was expecting, these vibrant blues, greens, and oranges all over the place. But yeah, it was very sort of like, oh. And because we were up on the top deck and all of the bright lights around the pool, it sort of, you had to stand there and look at it, and then you could see it. But if you looked away and your eyes adjusted to the background light of the ship, and then looked up again, you couldn't see it again. So you did have to concentrate.
And we were very lucky because we just happened to go on deck, and we spoke to a lot of passengers the next day, and they were pretty annoyed because there was no announcement either in the public areas or in cabins. There were no mention about it at all. Because I know some people had put their name on a list at reception to say, please contact us if you see the Northern Lights, but there was no announcement out at all.
Which we could understand them doing sort of a full ship announcement in the cabins as well, if it was marketed as a Northern Lights cruise.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was Iceland and Greenland.
Yeah, but there were some disappointed people.
Very, very unhappy.
I know people who, a couple of the passengers said they slept with their bridge cam on, hoping that they would see them on the bridge cam, or there would be an announcement, and it didn't happen, unfortunately. So that was a disappointment.
How many cruises? Question from Mike. How many cruises do you go on in a year? So we try to get away as much as possible. So obviously it's quite difficult with school holidays, but it's quite difficult with school holidays.
Yeah.
But we do, well, we haven't done too badly, maybe 5, 6 at a
5 or
push.
6. Yeah, yeah.
We
It
like
all-
a long one in the summer holidays
Yeah,
because we've got a bit more flexibility.
It all depends on the cruise length.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Obviously, because we've done a longer one now, it probably would have been 2 cruises otherwise, but we couldn't miss the chance to go to Greenland, really, especially at the bargain price that we got it.
Yeah, it was ridiculous price. We're so lucky. Question: hi guys, what is your next cruising adventure going to be? I love your vlogs. Well, thank you very much.
Well, our next cruising adventure, we are off to the Med.
Yep, we're going to try Costa.
Yeah.
So we're quite looking forward to that because it's just something completely different. Obviously, we have we have sailed with MSC a couple of times, so we're hoping it'll be a similar experience, if not better.
Yeah. But we're saying that we've done 2 MSC ships, but they've both been from the UK. So this is going to be out of our comfort zone, really, and we're going to go south from Marseille on Costa in October. So
fingers crossed for the weather.
Fingers crossed for the weather.
But saying that, the weather in Greenland and Iceland was superb, as you can see. Well, I don't know if you can see, but we've got a little bit of colour. We actually caught the sun in Greenland.
Yeah, so it's worked out okay.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed for the weather in the Med. But yeah, Costa is our next one. So if any experience on Costa, we know a few of you have already been on Costa, so that would be very helpful.
So I click it, how many cruises did it going to be? Next question: when choosing excursions, do you just do that? I don't know. When choosing excursions, do you ever disagree and compromise?
In all honesty, in excursions, we're not very well, we don't do many paid for excursions from the ship itself.
No, we very rarely do one with a cruise line. The only time we'll do one with a cruise line is if there's a short amount of time in port.
Yeah,
because then that just relieves a little bit of stress and pressure for not missing the ship, because they guarantee to get you back.
In our first couple of cruises, we probably did have a little bit of a where should we go, and you'd say one thing, I'd say the other. But now we know that we'll probably be back at some point, so we don't really mind. So this time last year we went to Iceland, and we never dreamed that we'd be back again this year. So, and we did totally different things this year than what we did last year. So yeah, there's definitely no pressure now. We just say we'll do it again next time. So
I think, but we didn't start off like that, because if you remember when we first went to Barcelona, and I don't know if any of you have cruised into Barcelona, but trying to do Barcelona in a day nearly killed us.
It did,
because we just wanted to see everything.
Yeah.
And that was a sort of a real big learning curve, because we, at the end of the day, after we managed to make our way down on the metro, and we were just zipping from one part of the city to the other.
Yeah, we're a whiz on Barcelona Underground now, so which is helpful.
But yeah, no, we definitely pace ourselves, pick one thing, do it properly, and then the chances are we'll be back again at some point.
Yeah, we managed to do the city and the beach and everything in between in Barcelona, which was
busy day.
So yeah, we've taken it much more slower now. You can't do everything.
Question: what would your dream cruise be?
Go on, you tell yours.
So after just getting a little bit of a taster through sort of southern Greenland and having a look at sort of Gary's little adventure in the north and Canada, it was something completely surreal. You've got these tiny little villages that are just completely separate from everyone else. There are no roads connecting these towns or settlements. You either have to fly in or get a boat. And, the cruises we'd done previously have all been sort of built up European cities. And it was just incredible to see just the remoteness and just how different everything was.
Yeah, these people live in a totally different way. So a totally different way of life. And that was fascinating, really, wasn't it?
It's incredible. It was absolutely incredible. So yeah, I think dream cruise now would be the one that goes down to Ushuaia, Is it the Antarctic
and Falklands
and the Falkland Islands? That's one I'd love to go on. But equally, I'd like to do Australia and New Zealand. I'd like to do Japan and Singapore. You know, there's so many good cruises out there. And yeah, but I think definitely I'd love to go on a little expedition type one now.
If we had the budget.
Yeah, if we had the budget.
Now, my cruise would not be an ocean cruise at all, actually. I'd like to do a Nile cruise. So I have been to Cairo before and done a tiny bit on the Nile, but a full week in Egypt, seeing some of those historical sites would be amazing. So completely different. A Nile cruise would be great.
Hello, Holidays at Sea. I apologise if we're missing some shout outs and some hellos. Once again, this is the first time we've ever done this.
We're doing our best.
Yeah. Like we said, we were expecting to sit here just talking into the computer. Hi guys, remember, what cabin do you usually book, inside or sea view? If inside, give me a couple of tips on how you cope with the darkness all the time.
Yeah, no,
that's a good question.
We are very budget orientated, so if we can do more cruises, we will do inside cabins, is the answer. But if we can get a deal, then we will move up. So it's all price related for us. It's all price. So
obviously, a balcony cabin is an amazing experience. For this Island Princess cruise, we had a balcony because we just wanted to take in the scenery. Unfortunately for us, it sort of fit in with our budget. Like we budget £100 a day with drinks.
So yeah, big
budget each.
Yeah,
and this fit in perfectly with that. Like we said, we had an absolutely incredible deal, and we couldn't say no. In terms of insides, yeah, we've got no problem with insides, especially if we're doing sort of built up cities, because most of the time you'll dock in an industrial port, so you're not really missing much scenery.
No.
In terms of tips, we've got what do they call them? A sunrise alarm clock. Which Emma Cruises recommended, so we bought one, and they are absolutely incredible. It sort of wakes you up slowly, and then by the time your alarm goes off, the room is fully lit. It's amazing how they work, and it does make getting up in the morning, because without it, in an inside cabin, as soon as you turn that light on, your eyes are just...
But if you do wake up in the night, or it could be the morning, but you just don't know what time it is, so that does throw us, doesn't it? What time is it?
And we'll always leave the light on in the bathroom and close the bathroom door, so you've got that little bit of light under the door. Do you sit there watching a show thinking, wish I could sing and dance like that?
Thanks,
and work on a ship, seeing the world? I get bad job envy.
It all depends what ship we're on. So there's some cruise lines, so Ambassador and Morella, where the show team work so hard, I think no, I would not want their job, because they are doing a brand new show every night. And there are other cruise lines where the performers perhaps do one show a week. And no, I would want that job, because that seems dead easy. But yes, I'd love to get up on stage. I always think they look quite glamorous up there. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think I've always wondered about working in the shops, though.
You fancy working in the shop?
Well, I just think it's a little bit of a cushy number.
Wow. Depends how many days you've got.
Yeah, but it's still you're still only open from 10 till 10.
True, it's true.
And then port days, off you go.
Yeah.
So
perhaps shops are even better.
Susan, question: where are you going next? We are going on Costa around the Med. Yeah. Fingers crossed for the weather. Oh dear, sorry, just down. Tom and Dom said that they've stopped having a freight. Oh yeah. Sorry, just looking through questions. What is more important for a cruise, dining or amusements? I.e. the rope line.
No. For us, I don't think it's the amusement.
No.
The entertainment on board. No. The extra entertainment, like the high ropes on Avia or the swim up bar, are nice additions, and actually we did enjoy both of those. No,
never again.
You were scared to death on
never
that.
Again.
But I loved it. I was ringing the bell and everything. It's fine. No. But the food is quite important to us.
Yeah, food. service, entertainment, because we do love theatre shows.
We like the theatre
Yeah,
shows.
so when we cruise, we tend to sort of structure our evenings around the performance in the theatre.
Yeah.
So we pretty much go to the theatre, whether it's a comedian, guest entertainer, doesn't really matter, or guest singer. We'll go to one of the shows of an evening because we enjoy them.
And we have
most of them.
We've met some fantastic guest artists on cruises, so that makes it. There was a lady, Janine Johnson, on our last cruise.
Incredible.
Absolutely phenomenal. So if you see her on a ship, go and see her because she was amazing.
Amazing. Question: who eats the most sausage rolls, Tom or Dom? I mean, me. I eat the most.
Definitely.
I think it's because I restrict myself through when we're not cruising. I'm like, oh no, I can't eat that. No, I can't have that. And then when I'm on cruise, I'm just like, right, where's the buffet?
Yeah. Do you know what? We watched back at some of our filming that we did on day 1 on Island Princess, and Dom looks a lot thinner than he did on day 16 on Island Princess. So, take from that what you will.
I definitely ate my cruise fare.
Yeah, you definitely did.
What was your favourite Greenland moment? I think it was the Prince Christian sound.
Absolutely.
That was just we stood up on deck, and bear in mind it was cold. It was cold that day.
Cold
because the wind, and there was glaciers and wind, and
yeah.
But it was just absolutely, you just didn't know where to look.
Yeah.
You
so Prince Christian Sound is like a fjord that cuts through the south of Greenland, and it's a very narrow passage that only certain cruise ships can get through. Lucky for us, we did get through because the weather was on our side. It was a beautiful, clear day. It's one of those things that's surreal. So you're cruising through this fjord that is probably just as high as the fjords in Norway, but the rocks are much more rugged. And there's icebergs floating past you, and then there's a glacier, and then you carry on up the fjord a little bit, and then there's another glacier, and then you carry on, and there's a massive waterfall, and you carry on, oh, and there's another glacier, and there's little Inuit villages and things. It is just one of those places where you think, is this a real place or is it a movie? It is mind-blowingly spectacular.
Yeah, and the videos and the photos that we sort of took just don't do it any justice at all. You felt as if you could just put either arm out and you'd be able to touch either side. It was incredible. Really, really incredible.
We probably spent about 10 minutes in the buffet that day, and that's it, because we were out all day. We ran to the buffet, ran back out, because every minute you'd be missing something that you weren't out on deck. It was amazing.
It was incredible.
And Island Princess gave us an expert who did commentary from the bridge, and that was fantastic. She was pointing out a lot of things that we could see and telling us about all the aspects of Prince Christian Sound. So it was just an amazing day.
Amazing, really, really good day. Is it embarrassing when you see a certain someone squirreling ambassador food away for a midnight feast? No.
Now I wonder who that certain someone could be. So we probably have to explain this.
Yeah.
So on Ambassador do not do a late night buffet, much to Dom's disappointment. Instead, they do late night cafes, which are about 11 p.m.
Yeah, 11 to 11:30.
Yeah, and you eat in the certain venues. They come round on trays and are served to you on a napkin. So Dom has to collect those as they come round, wrap them up, and take them back to the cabin so he can eat them on his return later on, because there is no way to get food after you've had those canapes.
Well, they do have room service, but you have to pay for it. And afternoon tea on Ambassador is incredible. It's got to be in terms of selection and availability of things. And they do these homemade sausage rolls that are absolutely spectacular.
Yeah.
So if they were on in the buffet during tea time, why not squirrel a few away?
Yeah.
But other people were doing it as well. So it wasn't just me. And you sort of give them a cheeky little wink, like, good plan. Yeah. Question: who is the most beautiful? What was your favorite moment? Greenland, done that question. Hello to everybody. I'm sort of we can got any more questions? I may have missed a few. Question: when choosing excursion? Talk.
So yeah, What are your searching for questions? Well, how about we do one that I've written down. So we had a question sent in to us. We have booked premium with Princess. Will we be limited to specialty dining?
With premium, Alfredos and all of those sort of lunchtime menus that they're putting on, you get unlimited, so you can go there as many times as you want. If you've only got plus, you can only go there twice.
Yeah.
And that it's quite restrictive, because even if you're going on a 14-night cruise, you can only go to Alfredos twice for free. Otherwise they'll charge you $14.99 for an Alfredos or a GG's. And even if you're on a 7 cruise, you get 2, 14, 2. Even if you're going on the World Cruise, you're just getting 2.
Yeah.
Whereas with Premier, you can go as many times as you want, which is a little bit disappointing for us, because when we cruise with Princess, we think the Princess Plus package is outstanding value.
It is, yeah.
Outstanding value. Wi-Fi, gratuities, drinks,
yeah,
up to and including $15 each, and you get 15 of them. On the app now, it tells you how many of those you've redeemed, which is quite clever.
Yeah.
So we'll always pick, as a minimum, if we're going to do a Princess cruise, we'll pick Princess Plus, because we just think the value is incredible, especially when you compare that to other lines like P&O.
Yeah.
So for us, when we are on Royal Class ships, we frequent GG's and Alfredos quite a lot, don't we? Because we enjoy it.
Yeah.
Whereas now we'll be charged for it if we do it more than twice.
Which is a shame, really.
It is a shame. Next question. Should cruise companies offer cheaper rates when you pay for meals, whether in specialty restaurants or the main venues, or could you eat off ship as you like? So should cruise companies offer cheaper rates where you pay for the meals? That's quite an interesting concept. So instead of having so like full board, having meals included, what was if you just sort of booked a cruise, but for like cabin only, room only?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps you're going down Easy Cruises route.
Yes, and they didn't do very well, did they?
So
yeah, no, Easy Cruises, that's exactly what. And you even had to clean your own cabin with Easy Cruises.
I think so. But I suppose it all depends on what your appetite is and what you like. But for us, I think part of the cruise experience is those meals and sitting down in a restaurant and enjoying the service. So I think we'd quite happily keep the meals included.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So if you've watched our vlogs, you know that I don't think we've ever been to the buffet for an evening meal. Maybe once we did, but I can't remember. It might be a really long time ago.
Unless the chef's table on Harvey accounts.
Yeah. So yeah, we do love our food, and we do love trying different bits of food, whether it's bringing out an extra dish on the table for us to have a little try, because it's just part of the whole experience for us. Which cruise line do you feel has the best theatre shows that you've been on so far?
Hi, Johnny and Will.
Hi, Johnny and Will.
Who do you think? Best theatre show?
Theatre shows?
Yeah.
Best theatre shows? Well, you know what I'm going to say.
Go on.
Morella.
Yeah. I think Morella do it outstandingly well.
Every night. Boom. On the stage.
Yeah.
And they are incredible. Saying that, Ambassador is absolutely incredible as well.
Yeah, I think you can tell that they come from a similar background company type of thing in where they're coming from. So Peel are the company that do the shows for Ambassador, and they used to do the shows for Morella. Now Ted do the shows for Morella. Just a bit of background, but both similar, where they'll put on a production show every night. And they're high quality shows with good costuming. Perhaps they haven't got the set budget that other ships have got. And hey, we watched a really high budget show on Island Princess, and because they had so much going on, so much set and things, the whole thing had to stop halfway through because the set something happened in the set, didn't it? Though,
But that show on Island Princess was The Secret Silk.
Mm.
It was incredible. They had puppets and they had this animatronic horse. It was incredible. I've never seen anything like that on a cruise show before.
No, so that came from Stephen Schwartz, who is the creator of Wicked, and the puppets came from
Jim Henson.
It
was amazing. Really, really interesting. Obviously, on Ireland, though, there was only 4 production shows, and we were on there for 16 days.
Yeah. So, yeah. Mirella, I think, is the best.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Another question. How can Island Princess bring to life the Wheelhouse bar? So the Wheelhouse bar on Island Princess, gave us Take 5 vibes, didn't it?
Take 5 vibes, yeah. From
Enchanted,
P&O.
Enchanted and Sky.
Oh, Enchanted and Sky,
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
So it gave us very sort of laid back, relaxed, sort of subtle background music. However, during the day, it was one of the focal points for all of the activities. So in terms of Zumba, dance, the quizzes, you literally couldn't get a seat in there. There were people just Zumba in all of the aisles.
Yeah.
It was incredible to watch. The quiz show of an evening, the afternoon trivia at 4 o'clock, they had to ship extra seats in.
Yeah.
Because it was just incredible. Like we said earlier, Island Princess has got, it's got a fair few venues, but they're quite small. So if there are individual popular events that are happening or taking place, they get busy very, very quickly. And especially the trivia at 4 o'clock, people were in the Wheelhouse bar waiting for the trivia to start at 2:30.
Yeah.
Just so they could guarantee themselves a seat. So can I overcome this? So another question then. I hate formal nights, don't like dressing up. Can I overcome this on Ambassador?
That's from Gavin.
Yeah, you can eat in the buffet.
Yeah. So Ambassador, or you can eat in a specialty restaurant.
Yes, you can.
So because the Indian specialty restaurant is actually located as part of the buffet, so there'd be no problem there. Although Ambassador is a much more formal ship overall, we would compare it probably just slightly less formal than Cunard, maybe.
Yes, it's definitely more traditional than other cruise lines that we've been on, but in terms of sort of expectations, sort of lines up similarly with Cunard, with in terms of dress up more formal.
And from the passengers we spoke to, they're pulling a lot of those classic P&O customers. As P&O moves more modern, Ambassador are pulling those customers away and taking those passengers away and taking those on, because they are still keeping that formal, more classic cruising experience. They only do very few family cruises, mostly adults only.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite cruise line?
Who says that?
Holly from Holidays at Sea.
Yeah. Do we have a favorite cruise line? No, is the answer to that. We have a favorite cruise line for different things, but not an overall favorite cruise line. It's really hard to say.
No, every cruise we've been on, we've enjoyed.
We've never had a bad cruise yet.
No, it's when we sort of vlog our experiences, as much as we sort of have a moan about certain things, we just think that those certain things could be done a little bit better, but we never let it sort of affect our overall experience of a cruise line. And we've thoroughly enjoyed every cruise we've been on.
Yeah, we have really enjoyed every one. So it's hard to pick, but yeah, different cruises do different things better, but no one does anything bad enough to say we don't like them.
So Rachel Jeffries, have you been on a cruise where you thought never again?
No.
Definitely not. Do you have Nick Tours?
Hi, Nick.
Do you have a dream cruise you would like to? I think we answered that one a little bit earlier, where I definitely love to do sort of South America, foreign islands. I'd love to do it all, if I could. Just get me on a world cruise. 365 days, I'd be quite happy.
Yeah, I know. Well, I said Egypt, so I would go on an Egyptian cruise.
Question: where is your most favorite place you have traveled to, and which cruise line was it with?
That would be the cruise we have just done.
Yeah, it was just for us, because like we said, we've only done sort of built up, developed countries so far. it was just a complete eye opener just to see these remote little towns and villages
So yeah,
on the side of a mountain.
We visited 2 towns, Quakotok, if I'm saying these correctly, and Nanortalik in Greenland, 2 main towns. And these are classed as big towns. So to put that in perspective, Quakotok, I think, is the 3rd biggest town or 4th biggest town in Greenland, and it only has 3,000 inhabitants living there. So when a cruise ship arrives, you're doubling the number of people in that town, and the way they live is mind-blowing, really. They still, it's the things you see are things that are not very Western like. There's, you walk past a market and they've got the fish there and the things they've caught. Whale just for sale. They're wearing seal skins, and yeah, they've still got modern stuff. So we went in one of the shops and there's TVs and there's iPhones and things like that. There's no getting away from that, I don't think, anywhere in the world. But they are still very isolated most of the year.
Chris PNW, thank you for joining us.
Hi, Chris.
When are you going to Disney Florida?
Oh, it's on the list. It's on the list for me. I'd say I'd go next week, but Dom is like no chance. But he's never been. See, I've been to Disney twice, 3 times.
It's just people dressed up.
It's not. It's more than that. And
that's what I'd be doing as I'm going round.
I think it's.
He's not real.
Until you've been, you don't know.
No,
so.
It's true. It's true. I might go and come back a Disney convert, but I doubt it very much.
I think you will.
No chance. Ambassador are sailing from Bristol at the moment. Yes, they are. They've introduced, especially with their new ship Ambition, a number of sort of smaller, more regional ports. Can't wait to get back on. Did you ever cruise with CMV? No, this was before our time.
No. So for those who don't know, we only started cruising on MSC Virtuosa on their inaugural cruises. That was our first one. And the reason being is that we couldn't fly anywhere at the time. It was really difficult to travel. And we thought, like, where can we go that's local, easy to do? And that was Virtuosa. Let's go on a cruise. And it was the first cruises out the UK. So that's what we did. Tried that 4 nights.
I didn't want to go.
Dom did not want to go. And Dom also said it was far too expensive.
It was. I'll pay that now.
For 4 nights. But it started our love of cruising, didn't it? And we've never looked back since. So yeah.
And even then, when there was only 1,000 people on there, we struggled to get a seat.
Yeah, Virtuosa is an interesting one, but we'd have to perhaps try it again. So we've done other MSC ships now, but not been back on Virtuosa.
Is it fly cruise or cruise from the UK round trip?
Okay, so this is easy to answer for me, and that's because of luggage.
I was going to say exactly the same thing.
So me and Dom take
too much.
5, 6,
no,
5 suitcases.
Two cabin bags, the little wheeler ones, 2, and then 3 medium suitcases. Yeah. So it's not 5 huge suitcases.
No, and 2 lots of hand luggage. Yeah. So we take a lot. So that would make it really difficult. So next cruise, obviously, we're going to fly.
Yeah.
So we're really going to
flights with EasyJet, so that makes things a little bit more complicated because you have to pay for a cabin bag now.
Yeah, I don't know what they're playing at. That's not great. Anyway, not talking about EasyJet, but we are flying with EasyJet, and we've got 20 kilograms or something. So we're going to have to really reduce our luggage. But in all honesty, cruise from Southampton saves us so much time, and it does make our life so much easier to just get off the ship, drive home. There's no waiting in airports. No worried about if the flight is cancelled. It's easier to Southampton. It's just
convenient. It's just so easy.
Yeah.
Like our embarkation we stayed in Holiday Inn in Southampton because obviously we did one of their cruise packages, which was the first time for us.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic in terms of including 17 days parking, overnight stay, breakfast, transfers to and from the hotel. It was superb, and it was a good price. Our embarkation onto Island Princess, we arrived at the terminal at 11:15. We were on the ship by 11:10.
Yeah.
Even though Princess have done away with selecting your own boarding time now.
Another thing has changed. Yeah.
You can just
go on at any time now.
Well, Plus and Premier get priority boarding, don't they? So Sisters on Sea are in the house. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Where have you been?
They're in New York.
Oh yeah, I forgive you then. Where's the question? Who is the main researcher for your cruise holidays, Tom or Dom? Well, it's got to be me.
Yeah, Dom. Dom does more. Well, you do more cruise ship research, I suppose.
I do. What do you mean?
That you know more about the ship, and I know perhaps a little bit more about the destination.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I see them. Yeah, I definitely. So in terms of searching or finding that perfect cruise holiday, we tend to just use whatever search engines or travel agents that are available. And as we've said, we're quite frugal when it comes to sort of cruising. We always got a budget in mind, and we tend to stick to that. So we usually go off, get a few sort of estimations or quotes from a variety of different sources, and then we'll put them together and we'll just pick the best deal.
Yeah.
In terms of searching, it'd be me. I'm pretty much, I think once you've sort of, I saw a little meme saying if you're not cruising, you're thinking about cruising.
Yeah.
And I think it's 100% legitimate, because even when we're cruising, we're like, oh, where can we go to next?
Yeah.
Get the phone out and start having a look.
Start looking. Yeah. Right, let's see what else. Oh my god, no. Is that Cruise Monkeys? We've got EasyJet for our next. Went for the big luggage. You need the big luggage. You've got to have the big luggage. There's just no way you can do a cruise on a
No, you can't.
A small case.
Do you have a fave cabin you have stayed in? Fave cabin.
What cabin would
this is going to be quite controversial now, but I tend to find them all the same.
No, definitely not the same, because our cabin, our cabins that we just had was much bigger. Our RV cabin actually surprised us. Brand new ship, obviously. We had an inside cabin, but we found that quite dark and quite tight. Not much space. With not a single drawer in the cabin, so that was a little bit of a letdown.
That's true.
So we do like a cabin with drawers, so that that narrows it down. I don't know. What would you say?
Favorite cabin.
So if we haven't been in a suite or anything like that, so we'd probably say that we got to visit a Sky Suite.
Yeah, thanks,
with Sue and John. So that would be our favourite cabin. But we didn't have
2 bedrooms, living room, little kitchenette. Yeah,
but we never slept in there. So, yeah, all our other cabins have been pretty similar.
Yes. Question: do you find it hard to balance vlogging and enjoying your cruise?
Yes. Yeah, we definitely do.
Yeah.
We definitely do. It is one of those things where we've had to learn as we go, really, to know when to vlog and when not to vlog, what to include and what not to include, because it could be quite easy to just vlog and not enjoy the holiday at all.
That's true. Very, very true. And we're also quite mindful, because we don't want to interfere or interrupt anybody else's cruise.
No.
So it is quite difficult to sort of find a balance, and sometimes we find it, sometimes we don't. It's hard work. Whoever says vlogging and sort of doing all of these YouTube and social media and things like that is easy, it's definitely not.
No.
And so time consuming.
And we just have to be flexible, where some days we say we haven't got time to do because we want to enjoy our cruise, and other days we say we've got more time and we'll vlog then. So
how's your level 8 luggage holding up?
So far so good.
Yeah, no, really good actually.
Yeah, it's been with us on Island Princess, and it was chucked about a bit, we can tell.
Yeah.
So it's been fine.
Yeah, no, really, really good. Do you find it hard? I've done that on question. What is your ideal length of cruise? 3, 7 or 14 days?
Now, we prefer longer cruises.
Well, yeah, because the only reason we prefer longer cruises is because once we're on, we don't want to get off.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
It is very true. We really enjoy just being on the ship.
In terms of summer holidays, I'm the worst for it, because I'm like, oh, I've got 6 weeks. I've got to fill them all. Oh, let's just go on a 6-week cruise. Let's do it.
And I'm like, no, because that's all my holiday gone.
In terms of length of cruise, I think 7 days goes too quick. But then saying that, there's these 16 days just flew by.
Yeah, flew by.
Flew by. But I do enjoy a longer cruise because you get to, I suppose you get to experience the ship a little bit more, because instead of, you know, a team or a ship just performing for 7 days, you're sort of pulling that out. So you do get to experience like all the different foods available.
Yeah.
Like you, instead of just having 7 menus in the main dining room, you've got 14, and, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So longer is better for us. So we're nearly at the hour, guys. Well, we are, I think.
Yeah, a couple more questions then. If you haven't done so already, if you have enjoyed this mismatch of me and Tom speaking, just give us a little like. We really, really appreciate it. And thank you for spending your Sunday with us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
We're overjoyed.
We can't believe it. Yeah. So very much. We'll definitely plan another one. We don't know when it's going to be yet. But hopefully not too far. But please give this video a thumbs up if you have enjoyed it. It does really help us.
And if you've not subscribed to the channel, you know, that does help as well.
Yeah,
we really appreciate all of the comments, and yeah, we've thoroughly enjoyed it. So.
Yeah. Oh, just a quick question, Emma Watts. Yes, we did try a Starry Night cocktail, and it was very nice. Thank you very much for the tips.
Very shiny.
Yeah, with a mixture of gold in there. So yes, definitely.
Okay, so thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and hope to see you soon.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.